Good morning. Welcome to the First Assembly Appropriations Committee hearing. We have one bill today on the calendar, SB 3 by Senator Leno. Before we get started, I'd like to welcome back our Vice Chair, Mr. Bigelow, the returning members, and the new members. Mr. Bigelow, is there anything you'd like to comment on before we start?
Just like to congratulate you on your new appointment as chairwoman of this committee, and look forward to working with you in the many days coming ahead.
Thank you. Noting the current absence of a quorum, we'll begin as a subcommittee. We'll go ahead and welcome Senator Leno if he's ready. You have one bill up today, Senate Bill 3. It does enjoy a due pass recommendation, and you may begin when you're ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Pleased to have the honor of presenting this new committee's first bill. So, as we're all too aware, over 60% of American workers are living paycheck to paycheck. The rate of wage and income growth relative to corporate profits is at its lowest rate in the history of the United States. The inflation-adjusted income for the lower 40% of workers, which represent all minimum wage workers, has fallen over 10% over the past 20 years, while the top 5%, of course, continues to grow and grow. So it's no surprise that the President of the United States has said that income inequality is the defining challenge of our time. What this bill, SB 3, will do is respect and reward work. It will increase productivity. It will decrease worker turnover. It will increase the rate of economic growth as a result of increasing consumer spending, which is 70% of our economy. And by spurring economic growth, we will actually see additional job creation. And it will finally give workers an opportunity to wean themselves from the dependence of public assistance programs, which will save taxpayers' dollars. So this is a win-win-win for the state of California. And this is not just conjecture. The last time California raised its minimum wage was about 20 months ago, July 1st, 2014. Our unemployment rate at that time was 7.4%. Today, having raised it since then from $8 an hour to $9 an hour, and then again to $10 an hour this past January 1st, we've seen our unemployment rate fall from 7.4% to 5.5%. This is not the definition of a job-killing measure. So specifically, the bill will increase the minimum wage in California from its current $10 an hour by 50 cents this coming January 2017 to $10.50. The following January, up another 50 cents to $11 an hour, and then in each subsequent year, an additional $1 per hour until we reach $15 per hour January of 2022. The entire timeline is shifted by an additional year for small businesses, as we define those with 25 or fewer employees, being sensitive to the fact of additional challenges that small businesses face. And I present this bill to you as an owner of a very small business for the past 35 years in San Francisco. We know that this measure coexists with a November ballot measure, which has already qualified, which also will raise California's minimum wage to $15 an hour, but there are some significant differences. This bill has a delayed timeline of 2 additional years for small businesses, 1 additional year for other businesses. This bill also recognizes that our economy is currently in its 7th year of economic growth and recovery, that the average length of time of an economic recovery since World War II is about 5 years. So there is likely to be some downturn. We don't want to think of it, don't want to speak of it, but it is potential possibility in the near term, and we don't know what form and scope that will take. It gives the governor a pause button if there are certain economic indicators and activities, and if there are some budgetary impacts. The governor has the opportunity to hit that pause button, and that determination would be made by January of the year, so that the pause would be in place for January the following year, meaning the step up would not take effect that year and would push the eventuality of $15 an hour out an additional year. And keep in mind that in addition to the governors having that authority, of course, any future legislature by majority vote can do whatever it needs to do to address whatever economic circumstances may be facing that legislature at that time. We recognize that we have the largest population of any state in the country living in poverty. This bill will literally lift over 2 million Californians out of poverty because they are working full-time today and earning a sub-poverty wage. And that is really the bottom line philosophical point of what SB 3 is trying to do, saying that there's no reason why someone working full-time in California should be paid sub-poverty wages and living below the federal poverty line. And keep in mind that federal poverty line is a very conservative measure. It does not account for the 30% higher cost of living that we have here in California, and it also doesn't even have a line item, because at the time it was created, this was not a reality. It does not include a line item for the cost of child care, which can be as costly as one's rent today. So again, a very conservative level of poverty. So happy to take any questions, but this has been a collaborative process. I very much want to thank the Governor of California, Jerry Brown. I want to thank the leadership of both houses. I want to thank the stakeholders for working with the governor so that we could come together and do something that is thoughtful and keeps the ability of the legislature and the governor to address uncertainties in economic future occurrences, something that we would not be able to do if a ballot measure were to pass in November. So with all of that, I would ask for your consideration and for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Leno. We're going to pause for a moment here, and Secretary, would you please call the roll?
Gonzalez.
Present.
Bigelow.
Present.
Bloom. Bonilla. Bonta. Calderon. Chang. Daly. Eggman. Gallagher. Garcia. Hernandez. Holden. Jones. Obernolte. Quirk.
Here.
Santiago. Wagner. Weber. Wood.
Thank you.
Move the bill.
We have a motion by Assemblymember Hernandez and a second by Mr. Calderon. We'll go ahead and take
Thank you.
witness testimony.
Madam Chair, we have a couple of minimum wage workers here to share with you what their life experience is. And then, of course, we also have, we brought my economic counsel here, some renowned economists from UC Berkeley who can answer any very detailed questions I'm sure that the committee may have for us.
Great. Today, we're going to limit testimony to 3 witnesses for 3 minutes each.
Okay.
So hopefully we'll keep it to that. And of course, the other witnesses can wait around in case there are questions.
Very good.
So witnesses, if you'd start.
Okay.
Okay, good morning. My name is Yolanda Tolliver, and I am an IHSS in-home care provider. And I live in the Sutter County, which is Yuba City. And I'm just proud to be here today for the fight for a minimum wage. And I'm commuting from Sutter County to Yuba County to make more money for my family, and it's been hard and difficult because I have to take on at least 4 clients at one time. And I'm living in a one-bedroom apartment with me and my 14-year-old daughter, and I just made qualify for the housing. I pay $563 a month, and I had to set aside some bills like my PG&E and to make arrangements so I can afford to at least make the rent. It's been difficult, and just less than a year ago, me and my daughter was homeless, and I was working, but I had to stay into a shelter during the winter months and stay with family and friends from time to time in the summertime until I was able to make enough to pay rent on my own. And it's important that, that we have a fair minimum wage so that it's not as stressful as a single parent to be overwhelmed, taking on 4 consumers, and I'm working full time and still not making the requirements. And also, I have a skin disease, which is psoriasis, and the food cost is costly that I can't afford to get everything I need for my diet. And I want to thank you and appreciate you for listening to my testimony and asking that you support us in the minimum wage.
Thank you. Next witness.
Hi, my name's Stephen Henson. I work at Burger King, and when I graduated from college, the only jobs available to many of us paid the minimum wage, and I've been doing retail and restaurant jobs since then. So-called economic recovery has not helped us. We need to get good jobs and better opportunities, and one route to that is an advanced degree. But between rising rents and student loan debts, many of us are stuck in the grinding struggle to survive. And like if my car breaks down, the repair means everything that falls apart: bills, rent, transportation to work, everything goes. My life's a financial house of cards, and our current minimum wage makes progress almost impossible since we're constantly picking up the pieces and trying to hold it together. And me and my girlfriend both work in a low-wage fast food restaurant, and it's hard to pay the bills with just that, even me working 40 hours a week. We're smart, hardworking, we want to make it on our own, and $15 an hour would help us do that, get ahead, pay our bills, pay loans, and start a path to a better future. And I'm sitting here right now, but I really like to represent millions of people and generations of people who are struggling also with the $10 an hour. The conditions of our lives need to change, and I thank you guys for your support, and I hope you guys are going to vote for SB 3.
Great.
Thank you. Next witness.
Good morning, Assembly members. My name is Ken Jacobs, chair of the UC Berkeley Center for Labor Research and Education, and thanks for having me here today. I want to briefly present the results of research we released this morning on who would be affected by a $15 minimum wage in California, and then say a few words on what that means on fiscal impacts on the state. Like the rest of the country, California has seen a growth in income inequality since the late 1970s. Real wages have fallen by 5%. For the median worker over the last 25 years, but the greatest declines have been in that bottom third. We estimate that 5.6 million Californians would see wage increases as a result of the proposal, and those estimates don't take into account those estimates do take into account workers both directly affected by the minimum wage increase and what we would expect from a ripple effect. Together with the 800,000 workers who will already receive increases to $15 from local ordinances, 37% of Californians would have their wage increase to $15 an hour by 2023. The average worker affected by the law would have their earnings increase by 24%, or $3,700. 96% of the affected workers are 20 or over. 37% are married. On average, they contribute, 37% have children, and on average, they contribute half of their family income. So these really are breadwinners. 74% are workers of color, 55% Latino, and 2/3 work full-time. So in recent years, there have been some very important developments in the academic literature on the effects of increases of minimum wage on employment, much of it by my colleague Michael Reich here, with the weight of evidence now showing that minimum wage increases do have their intended effect. They improve incomes for low-wage workers and their families without measurable effects on employment. To look at the impact of these larger wage increases now that we're seeing proposed, we worked on developing a model that takes into an economic model, taking into account the main arguments by both proponents and opponents of the minimum wage. And what we've found is that higher wages are absorbed by employers through a variety of channels, including lower turnover, improved productivity, and small increases in price. In Los Angeles and New York State, we estimated about a little less than 1% on average increase in price spread over multiple years, a little higher in restaurants. But the adverse effects on businesses of charging slightly higher prices are largely offset by the increased sales generated by the low-wage workers who receive raises. So as a result, while the policy has large positive impacts on workers' earnings, the net impact on employment and GDP is expected to be small. The state budget will have higher costs for wage increases for IHSS workers and developmental disability services. And it's important to note there's a strong evidence in the research literature that wages are very directly connected to worker turnover and quality of care. At the same time, there will be savings as fewer workers need to rely on state-funded public safety net programs, mainly Medi-Cal and TANF. State sales tax collections will also increase. So along with these immediate impacts, the state will realize long-lasting benefits and important fiscal effects down the line, as we know that additional family income improves health for workers and their children and increases school achievement. So in summary, the minimum wage will have large positive effects on the living standards of millions of low-wage workers in California and small effects on the economy and employment. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're now going to go to other witnesses in support. Normally, we say, please just identify yourself and your affiliation. I know we have some workers who traveled a long distance to be here. I'm going to ask those workers to maybe say in one sentence why they're here, not to go on and on, okay? So I know that it's a sacrifice to make it up here, but those with organizations, please just state your organization, but the workers can have a sentence. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Christine Wilson. I'm with Fight for 15 with the local SEIU, and SB3 means a better future for myself and my family, so I just ask that you please vote yes on SB3.
Hi, my name's Rebecca Lyon, and I care for my 7-year-old son who has Down syndrome. I'm his main care provider, and getting the $15 an hour wage would make a big difference for my family. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, mi nombre es Belia Pérez, vengo de Tracy, California. Gano el mínimo en las condiciones que yo vivo. Tengo que estar rentando un cuarto porque no me alcanza el mínimo para rentar un cuarto para mí sola, un apartamento para mí sola, perdón. Y trabajo en Taylor Farm y estamos tratando de agarrar una unión para a ver si así tenemos un poquito de aumento del mínimo. Y por eso se me hace bien importante que pasara esta ley para que nos subieran el sueldo, porque el mínimo no nos alcanza.
Thank you.
That was Velia Perez from Tracy, California. She was just explaining living on the minimum wage. She has to rent a room. She can't afford to find a bigger space for her and her family. She works at Taylor Farms. They've been fighting to try to join a union. Their employer hasn't allowed that to happen, and so they're here fighting for a higher minimum wage for better life for them and their coworkers. Also, Caitlin Vega for the California Labor Federation here in support.
Gracias.
Good morning. Tia Orr on behalf of the Service Employees International Union. I stand here today honored and proud in strong support of SB3 on behalf of our 700,000 members across the state and hundreds of thousands of workers who have every desire to join a union. I'm going
to give workers a little leeway, but if with an organization, that's it. Love you, Tia, but that's it.
Can I just have our workers stand that came from across the state so they don't testify? Just so that
I will ask that at the end. Thank you.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, Brian Allison on behalf of the American Federation of State, County, Municipal Employees in strong support.
Thank you.
Beth Capel for Health Access California in support of this measure to improve health. Thank you.
Morning, Madam Chair and members. Seth Bramble here on behalf of the California Teachers Association in strong support.
Abe Hajela on behalf of San Francisco Unified School District in strong support. Shane Gussman on behalf of the Teamsters, the International Longshore and Warehouse Union, the Amalgamated Transit Union, the Machinists, and others, all in strong support of this bill.
Danielle Kando Kaiser of Corbin and Kaiser on behalf of Common Sense Kids Action in very strong support of this bill.
My name is Richard Hammond, and I'm a recipient of IHSS. This $15 an hour is so important. And I want you to know that two of my workers have 8 children apiece, and they're trying to support their families and take care of me. And most of the time they spend all of their holidays with me. They have no sick leave. We need to really focus on this 6 days. It's very, very important. Thank you kindly.
Thank you.
Good morning, Ashley Martinez on behalf of SEIU Local 1000 in strong support. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Terry Jensen. I am an in-home care support person. I'm also private sector in a construction business. One of the things that you have not heard is individuals that have businesses of their own have to leave their businesses. The revenue that gets dropped off is harmful to our community. We need to have the raise because now we're no longer functioning at the level we were because we had to come back into our homes to take care of those that are disabled. My son, Eric Jensen, at the top, in the brown coat, brain seizure disorder. This individual requires 24-hour care. I appreciate all of your concerns and listening to what our needs are. We desperately need a raise. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Ivan Carrillo with the California Federation of Teachers in strong support.
Christy Baum on behalf of 30,000 professional firefighters in California. Honored and proud to be here in strong support.
Gina De Silva with the California Immigrant Policy Center in strong support.
Karen Lang for the Mayor of San Francisco, Edwin Lee, and the City and County of San Francisco in support. Thank you.
Sylvia Solis Shaw on behalf of City of Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti in strong support, and also on behalf of the 22,000 members of the California Faculty Association. Thank you.
Jeremy Smith here on behalf of the State Building and Construction Trades Council, also in support.
Diane Weber from Reading. I have 3 recipients myself with IHSS, 2 family members. One we got off the streets with mental health issues. It's been wonderful to be able to care for them now, my 87-year-old mom, as well as another disabled senior citizen. We appreciate your listening and caring about our issue. Thank you.
Good morning, Kathy Deppie. On behalf of 9 to 5, National Association of Working Women in California, we are in strong support. We know that 2/3 of minimum wage workers are women. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Letitia. I'm from Tehama County. This is my youngest daughter, Genesis, the youngest of 8. And I'm a single mom, and it's very hard to survive on a minimum wage, you know. And with the increase, it would greatly help us. And also with the sick pay days, I've been working 6 years for IHSS and had to put a mask on when I'm throwing up and putting my hair back and not feeling good. So those days are important too, even if it's just, you know, something, you know. And we're grateful that you're here listening to us, and we thank you very much. And I'm also representing the home care workers of Tehama County that weren't able to make it today. We greatly appreciate your efforts. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Madam Chair, members, Roxanne Miller representing Mayor Sam Liccardo and our City Council in San Jose in strong support of this action. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rosalind Burden, and I'm just up here as a parent of a child that makes less than what we're going for here. And just listening to this young man up here saying that he's gone to college and he's put himself in debt to take care of himself in because of going to college. Excuse me, I'm nervous. Just basically, it's not just people who are lazy and don't want to do anything for themselves that are working these low-wage jobs. You have people who've gone to college to better themselves that cannot find stable employment. I have a son at home who makes less than the minimum wage, and he is trying to raise his son on his own. So to watch him struggle to whether to pay the rent or buy food or clothes for his son, it's a hard thing to watch as a mother. So I really hope you guys support this bill.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, I'm Mike Carroll with the Western Center on Law and Poverty. We are a co-sponsor of this measure and proud to be so. And we believe this is the most important
Thank you. Thank
Did
you.
I say thank you, ma'am?
Thank you.
All right.
I know.
I wasn't going to say much more.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Jessica Barthlow at the Western Center on Law and Poverty, but also in the steering committee of Stronger California and the Hunger Action Coalition in support.
Good morning. My name is Santos Garcia. I am a representative of the Central Valley Central Labor Council representing Madera, Fresno, Tulare, Kings counties. And I would just ask you to support the bill and remember that we have people in the Central Valley who are hurting and they need your support. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Madam Chair and members, Pat Moran with Aaron Reed and Associates representing the Orange County Employees Association in strong support of the bill. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members. Tristan Brown with the California School Employees Association here in strong support. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll go ahead and honor the request that other workers and folks who have traveled to come here and support, if you can stand now so we have a visual of who has come. If you can stand, you can wave your hands. If not, all right. Thank you for traveling and making your voices heard. At this time, you can go ahead and have a seat. At this time, we're going to have witnesses in opposition. Again, we'll have 3 witnesses with 3 minutes each. Can we make sure we make room up there for all 3?
Thank you, Madam Chair and members. I'm Matt Sutton with the California Restaurant Association. We are here in opposition. We all know wages are going to go up, but it's about how you do it. This is an enormous experiment. We have not studied 15. We have not had a policy hearing on 15. We have on 13, and I certainly appreciate Senator Leno's commitment and tenacity on the issue, just to say at the outset. But this is really a huge experiment. An 87% increase in an 8-year period. Economic studies are all over the issue. Some say there's job impact, others don't. You can find economic studies on every side. We don't have economic studies on the last increase. This discussion seems to be happening without consideration of the previous minimum wage increases, which the last one took place less than 3 months ago, January 1. That was a historical increase, the largest the legislature's ever done, a very heavy lift for many of you and the governor. And we still have not seen nor studied or felt the full effects of that increase. The state finance implications are enormous on this proposal. This is something that probably ought to be done in the context of the state budget and certainly after the May revise, because there are tremendous impacts to the state budget. This issue is also being taken in consideration in a vacuum of the other issues that small businesses across the state are facing. It's compliance with the Affordable Care Act, it's rising workers' compensation rates, rising unemployment insurance taxes, and again, still trying to get hands around the latest minimum wage increase. I would like to talk about youth wages for a moment. You know, unfortunately, California is home to 6 of the region's largest youth unemployment areas. Nothing any of us should be proud of. As we do these super minimum wage at the $13, $14, and $15 level, we fear that you're going to exacerbate teen unemployment. We pride ourselves on being an entry point in the workforce for teens and youth. And we do fear that at such a high rate, $15 as a starting wage, you may price many of them out of the market. The off-ramps are very well appreciated, well intended. They are optional, they are discretionary, and they are not mandatory. We would suggest that they be mandatory. The CPI is an issue that this House has debated quite a bit, and this House has voted down numerous times. It is unwise, in our opinion, to attach the wage to CPI and put it on autopilot with 0 off-ramps in the future. There's polling on all sides of the issue. Voters, of course, appreciate and want an increase. $15 is an overreach in the eyes of the majority. $8 to $15, obviously a $7 increase. It's unheard of. It's never been tested. There's no doubt consequences will occur. I know that many say, the business community makes comments about minimum wage increases and things don't happen. Things do happen. It's quiet and people do hire fewer people, and this can't be sustained in certain segments of the state. $15 is completely untested. And if you think it works in your community, and maybe it does for some of you, it certainly doesn't in many other communities, and I think that's being overlooked.
Okay.
So I would just say, lastly, that you've raised the minimum wage significantly in the last 3 months, and now in a 3-day period, you're looking at doing this huge experiment at $15. Many of you came up here with the option to serve for 12 years.
You need to wrap up. You're 20 seconds over.
My apologies. This has been a very rushed process. There's no reason to rush it. There's time to get it right, and we encourage your no vote.